All right, so this video is putting in a factory 3-person bench seat into a cargo van. So anyway, I have 3-person bench seat sitting right here. This is the nice one that is reclining. So each individual seat back reclines about 20 degrees or whatever, like an airplane seat. So I like those seats. If you have kids and you want them to be safe, then that's the best seat to put them in. German engineered, it's all good. So anyway, I get the seat off, Craigslist or eBay or wherever. I get all the mounting brackets with them, and then I buy the bolts. So anyway, bolting this, we bolt through the frame rails wherever possible, and then where that's not possible, I bolt through the cross members that are under the van. So anyway, take a look here. So this would be passenger side. So you have 3 5.5 inch long, 1/2 inch diameter bolts. The center is 3.5 inch long, 1/2 inch diameter bolts. Okay. And then the driver's side is another 5.5 at the back. And then these guys are 1.5 inch long, 1/2 inch diameter bolts. Okay. So driver's side, you have 5/8 washer, 1/2 inch washer, and a 1/2 inch lock nut. And then same thing in the middle and the back, it's a larger square washer, cut out a flat plate, 3/16 thick. And then moving to the middle, regular 1/2 inch washer, lock washer, nut, same. And then this Ford one doesn't really need that washer, so I don't put it in. On the passenger side, the 5.5 bolt, big square washer, lock washer, regular nut. Okay, so locating these bolt holes is, first one's at 15.5 inches, and that's measuring back from the seat base. So 15.5, 35 and 5/16. And, bear with me, all goofed up. Okay, and then 49 and 5/16 is the last one. And then there are several, being 3 larger divots in the floor. Those are where these seat rails are recessed. So anyway, as far as cutting out the holes in the factory floor, that can be done a couple different ways. I actually have another factory floor that came out of a crew van that I picked up off Craigslist, and I just use that as a template to cut a cargo van floor that this one came with. So then I trim it out and I save the other one as a template. So anyway, you could figure out dimensions based off of those hole dimensions and what's needed to mount these floor brackets. So that's not too difficult. So anyway, once those holes are located, I drill through all the way down through the frame rail on these 3 closest ones on the passenger side. I do that with a long drill bit, right? And try and make sure it's straight up and down all directions so that I go through this frame rail in the right location. It's not always perfect. The far one that has a long bolt here, you want to make sure that you do that and you drill down through the frame rail with that long drill bit, but you don't go past the frame rail by more than 1/4 or 1/2 inch because the fuel tank's down there. These 2 right here that are closest to the driver's seat, those guys only go through the top of the frame rail, and you actually have to do a hole saw hole in the side of the frame rail in order to access those nuts. The center ones go down through cross members that are directly above the driveline. The new vans, the newest ones come with this driveline cover, right? That driveline cover has a bunch of bolts, and you use an E10 socket. And these are these outside, 6-point bolts. So anyway, so you have to remove that in order to do the center bolts. Those just drill straight down through. One of them ends up inside of a cross member that holds, I think, the carrier bearing. So anyway, so this is what needs to be done. These are the bolts you need. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. It's gonna have to come out again, unfortunately, but it needs to come out. But I also need to use it, so we're going on a little trip here next weekend. Gotta have it done. Gotta have this seat in here. So anyway, we're gonna put it back in. Here we go. Alright, so let me show you what it looks like under the van. You got passenger side with three bolts and big square washers. In the middle, you got one bolt way up in here underneath that carrier bearing. There's another right here underneath this guard. And then the fourth, well, I wouldn't say the fourth, but anyway, the next one, the third one, is underneath this mount for the carrier bearing that goes all the way through this cross member. Okay, and then you got driver's side. So this is the one I was talking about not going through and hitting the gas tank, hitting the fuel tank when you're, when you're drilling. This particular one right here is up inside the frame rail, and this particular one is up inside the frame rail. So we drilled two, I don't know if they're 1.5 inch holes, whatever they are. But anyway, I gotta drill 2 holes in order to access those guys. So anyway, those are the bolts and the mountings and all of that. The only other thing is this cover that goes right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that guy back on, and then this is ready to drive, and then we'll pull all this back apart later when we need to do the actual floor and the sound deadening and all that stuff. So anyway, here we go. All right, so this guy's bolted in, tucks underneath this lip here, and has some weird little way that it goes up into this little V notch. But anyway, yeah, that's all in. All the bolts are tight for those seat rails. So yeah. All right, so basically in conclusion, we got these 3 frame rails, which are factory frame rails for a factory bench seat. Those are all mounted, ready to go. This is really just temporary in order for us to take a trip and use the van. But now, instead of just the 2 seats up front, this cargo van has 5 seat belts that are all factory seats, that all match, that all look good, and they're all comfortable. So, and they're all safe, right? They're all German engineered, super heavy duty seats. So anyway, so that's done. That's ready to go. We'll put that seat in later when we're ready to leave. Right now, I'm going to work on putting in this rear portion of the factory floor. So that's coming up in the next video. And then I'm going to be working on the vertical L tracks that go in the rear of the van in order to hold up the side panels, and also that holds up the bed frame. So anyway, that's what we're doing next. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're moving forward on this build. Thanks for watching.